What's going on, guys? This is Miyasin and welcome to my Rescue Ace deck profile. This deck is absolutely nasty. I can't believe it's a mid-range deck that can set 4 cards directly from the deck with this stupid card, Rescue Ace Turbulence. Shouldn't exist, and also it can play Shifter because the graveyard doesn't matter. So if you're tired of playing Kashtira, this is going to be a somewhat similar deck, but maybe potentially better for a change. Less boring. I don't know if it's better than Kashtira, honestly, probably not, because Kashtira is BS with a Rise Art, but Kashtira is going to be getting hit, and this is going to be the new best alternative, at least for mid-range players. But anyways, before we get into this deck profile, make sure you like and subscribe. It really motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these, and now let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm really playing this like pure Rescue Ace. In the OCG, they can play like more combo heavy because they can run Aurora Dawn with Olion and Jet Synchron, so that when they summon Aurora Dawn, they tribute 2 monsters, summon Olion, and start making some synchro plays. But we can't do that. So yeah, anyways, 3 Rescue Ace Turbulence. You actually kind of want to draw this card so that you can at least summon it with the summoning condition. So I think it's a really good card. The boss monster of the deck, so why not? 3 Preventer. This is a Book of Moon, but it's also like a semi-hand trap in case you draw it with your Impulse. These 2 cards in tandem with each other, it's like a Book of Moon on turn 0, and you're also kind of getting your engine started right away. So that's actually really nasty. Really like Preventer, and of course it is one of the best extenders in the whole deck. It has like 3 insane effects. I don't even know where to begin. If you don't know what this deck does, at least go check my combo video first and then come back to this deck profile later on. Anyways, the only one of that I'm playing for Rescue Ace would be Fire Engine. So this one you actually don't really want to draw. If anything, you want to be summoning it from the deck with the effect of Impulse on turn 0 going second. But you know, it's not like the end of the world to draw because it still has like a neat special summoning ability. But if your opponent summons a monster, if a monster special summons to your opponent's field, so you could be the one giving a monster to your opponent, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Rescue Ace monster from the hand, deck, or graveyard. So you can theoretically go normal summon Ibli, and then link it off, and then trigger the effect of this and get your stuff going even more. And you're also summoning a Lingribo in the process so that you can dodge evenly and stuff like that. Never gonna come up because you really need your normal summons on these monsters. Whatever, you get the point. Well, maybe not this one, but like these ones. Still a really good card though. And then 3 Shifter, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Book of Moon. This is better than Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is actually really bad because all you can really do is negate like Ash and Veiler. Not really down. But Book of Moon, you negate Veiler and Imperm on your own Turbulence so that it always resolves through that. And another cool thing is that you get to break boards going second. I really recommend people to play Book of Moon in this deck. It's one of the best decks to be able to play Book of Moon, to be honest. Reinforcement of the Army so that you can search your Rescue Ace Airlifter. And speaking of which, that is the best normal summon of the deck because upon normal or special, you get to search a Rescue Ace spell card. When you're going second against Purely, at least you have a win condition to a certain extent. And finally, the final monster is technically the heart and soul of the deck in a way, the Rescue Ace Hydrant. Its name is mentioned in the card text of so many cards, and it allows you to kind of cheat the system and use your Rescue Ace trap cards or spell cards right away the turn they were set. You can do that only once. It's very reminiscent to Temple of the Kings, which is not too bad. You can use that in combination with Rescue Ace Turbulence. You know, keep extending, and there's a combo where you have Hydrant and Emergency and you straight up kill your opponent. And in case you're wondering, Hydrant is a 1-card access code because you can go normal summon, search like Preventer, and then you're going to be special summon the Preventer, banish the Hydrant, and then make a Rapidocus, and then you go Preventer effect, revive back the Hydrant for the banish behind or whatever under it, and then you're going to be calling it Cyburst with the Rapidocus so that you can make Link Decoder and then make a Length 3 like Trisbania, and then revive back the Link Decoder, make access code, and then pop 3 cards, attack for 5300 damage. Of that with 1 single card. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, finally for the spell cards, again, Reinforcement of the Army so I can search the Airlifter, 3 Prosperity, 3 Book of Moon, 1 Alert with 1 Rescue. So Rescue is like a Shark Cannon if you control Hydrant, but if you don't, it's only a Monster Reborn, which is still really good. 1 Field Spell, which is pretty much like a Daigusto Emerald for your Rescue Ace spells and traps, or rather Rescue Ace cards that are banished and or in your graveyard. That's a really good effect already because it gives you an infinite grind game so that you never run out of gas. But also it's a permanent double summon for your Rescue Ace monsters. So each of your main phase, you get an extra normal summon. For a Rescue Ace monster, not too bad. And there's another effect that like boosts the attack of your Rescue Ace monsters by 500 if your opponent controls a monster but nobody cares. My voice is completely dying off, I'm so sorry. I've been sick for like the past 2 weeks, it's so annoying. Making videos is like, dude, I'm dying from the inside, but I have to. I really appreciate you guys. Anyways, the trap cards, I'm playing 1 Contain. I keep mixing up all the traps because honestly the artwork is also really similar, but Contain is the negation one, and if you control Hydrant, Hydrant, that monster that you're negating, also cannot be used as a material for Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link. Extinguish, on the other hand, is a pop, so you can destroy an effect monster upon controls, and if you control Hydrant, then your opponent cannot like trigger that effect. So if you're destroying like a Yang Zing, for example, it's not gonna float, but that, again, that's not super relevant. With Hydrant, it's just going to make your cards even better. Your interruption's like more meaningful instead of just being like a little Veiler, a little pop that doesn't really prevent anything. So yeah, 40 cards in the main deck, and then of course for the extra deck, I'm playing one Mud Dragon of the Swamp. You are summoning this thanks to Proxy F Magician. This is the way you can play around Veiler and Infinite Impermanence on your Rescue Ace Turbulence. You try to summon this as early as possible, call Fire, and then when you summon the Turbulence, it can no longer be targeted thanks to that Mud Dragon. For the Link monsters, one Underworld Goddess so that you can out the Expelliarmus Noir, because with the Impulse you can prevent it from activating its effect, but that doesn't deal with, you know, clearing it. So this card's really nice. One access code, of course, one card access code is pretty cool. We'll take that any day of the week. One Appaloosa, again, very nice, and your Hydrant is a one card Appaloosa, but you're probably not going to be going for that unless you're really scared of like Ash and Veiler, but it's also unrealistic, and it's only going to be like an Appaloosa for 2. I guess you could go Masquerena into an Appaloosa, and that way you can have like a pretty big Appaloosa that also cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's not too bad. I'm also playing, of course, Trisbania, which is a card that you can summon with Masquerena so that you can banish a bunch of spells and traps. Really nasty against Labyrinth. In case you know you're playing against Labyrinth, this deck can definitely adapt itself to pretty much any matchup. Unicorn, Phoenix, again, more targets for Masquerena. Because this deck doesn't really exceed or synchro summon too much. The monsters all have different levels, so all it can really do is link summon. Hita, because all your monsters are fires. By the way, these two are warriors, so you can also play Infernoble Arms Durandal if you really want to search them. And all those monsters are machine. Well, I mean, obviously not these ones. But yeah, Hita is pretty cool because you can also search your monsters. Sunlight Wolf is obviously cute because you get to recycle back your cards. Recycling back Ash is also very cool. You can recycle back a monster on your turn, on your opponent's turn, because you have Rescue to revive back monsters, so you can always proactively trigger that Sunlight Wolf. Of course, Proxy F Magician, the Riperdocus, I showed the combo with that, alongside Link Decoder, Masquerena, to give you more options. You can also play Mekk-Knight Crusader Avermax, that is in the idea section. Salamangreat Almirage, again another fire, and you can turn Hydrant into it, and Relinquish Tanima. You can also play Linkuriboh if you want to. Alright, so now for the idea section, not that it really matters, but I am playing Regulus, or at least considering it. You can technically search it with Sargas if you can overlay to Airlifter, but come on, that's not relevant. Really not. But yeah, the Regulus is the way you can protect yourself to a certain extent from Duster, Lightning Storm, and Evenly. It's not bad, but it's also the kind of card that you have to sack. In theory, you can protect yourself from Evenly very easily by going Riperdocus, call Cybers, and then turn your Hydrant into a Linkuriboh. That's not too bad, but it doesn't deal with Lightning Storm and Duster. Only with one card, so it does depend on what people are playing, but if you're really scared of Evenly, you might as well consider that. A second copy of Fire Engine for no given reason. Fire Attacker, I really don't recommend playing this card. It's the same thing as Fire Engine, but worse, because instead of summoning a monster from the deck, which I feel is better, because you know what you're getting, with Fire Attacker, you draw 2 and then discard 1 card. And also, it's when a card is added to your opponent's hand, not like if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field. You can argue it's just as easy to, you know, trigger, but whatever, I'm not a really big fan. DD Crow, if you want, like, more control over your opponent's graveyard, but Shifter is good enough. You can't really play both at the same time either. These 2 cards, Kikinaga Shifucho for your 2 Hydrants, which is never gonna come up. More Link monsters. Donner's a really good one, probably should be in your extra deck. Linkuriboh, as I said, pretty good. Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is weird when you're playing Shifter because you're also making cards like not go to the grave, so sometimes it might just not have any targets. And you can make yourself lose to Ash for no reason because it's not going in a place where you can hit it with Call by the Grave. I don't know, it's just a little awkward. And finally, Extinguish, again, for no reason. Shouldn't be there. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. I really have to go to sleep. Peace.